Hey, a successful marriage requires falling in love many times and always with the same person. That's a successful marriage.
I totally agree.
Good. Hello, everyone. So say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. I'm one half of the team of partners in marriage, John Godbolt.
And I'm Vertel Godbolt.
Okay, I'm the first half because I don't know. Maybe I talk the most, but anyway, this is my idea. My wife decided to go along with me doing this, and we are here to talk with you about points in a happy marriage. This is part 4, session 4 of getting together with you and talking with you about marriage. Hey, remember, we want you to go to our website at www.partnersinmarriage.com. Check out everything there. Also, we got our last book that we wrote so far called A Happy Marriage. You can get this book right on any brick and mortar building that sells books or right on the website, Amazon, or go to our website and hey, we'll get it, sign it for you and send it to you. Now, we've been talking about spiritual intimacy because we've heard some great podcasts of people who really have jumped on this. Jackie Hill is one of my favorite. I'll just call her name out there and put her out there because Jackie doesn't play. She comes right out, and she and her husband, they come right out and talk about it. And there's several others. Priscilla Schreier, I think they do a great job talking about the real nuts and bolts of marriage. And so there are lots of people out there you need to be listening to so you can strengthen your marriage. We want to spend our time on building the principles, what we call our safe space and our core values. It's your flagship statements, for me, that makes a marriage work. It's who we have become in order to make our marriage work. You want to share with our friends what our 4 core values are for Team Godbolt?
Yes.
Okay.
The first one is our home will always be a safe place. And that means just what it says.
Yeah.
That if it's something, even if it's a hard or a difficult subject, that we, as long as it's presented well, whatever we say, it will be a safe place. And things that are private with us, we're not going to go and broadcast it. We're going to leave it in the home. So our home will always be a safe place. And number 2 is we will communicate clearly and effectively. Not just clearly, but effectively. How I said, how it's presented,
how it's received.
The volume. And if I know that it's a touchy subject with you or you with me, we will communicate it, but we will do it effectively.
Yeah.
Clearly and effectively. And the third one is that we will honor the vows that we've made with each other, God, and our bodies. And explain what you mean by our bodies.
Well, one of the things that I found out that I wanted to make sure that I take care of myself. I didn't want to marry you looking one way, coming into the relationship, trying to be, all that. And then as we got married, and okay, I got her now, and it just started hanging out everywhere, going all over the place. So that to me was important, that I stay physically in the best possible shape I can, so I can give you the best physical husband possible. Now I'm going to pray and seek God, but I want to make sure that the vow I made with him was that I was always going to be a spiritual man. Okay, the vow I made with you was that I'm going to be a good husband, and the vow I made to myself was I'm going to be the best physical shape I can be, mentally and physically, so that I can present to you a good husband, and to God a solid man.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what we mean when we say with our bodies. Now, we can't help what happens along the way, as far as sickness or pain or whatever. But that's the vow that we are trying to make with each other. I don't want to do I want to do the same thing. That, of course, after children and cesareans and all that, my stamina and physique it's not going to be the same as it was when
I
we
like
were
your physique.
young.
I like your physique. I
But
like it.
anyway, I want to keep it healthy. I
Yeah.
want to exercise. I don't want to just let me go. I still want to try and look nice, keep my hair together, keep everything, try to look as
Sure.
good as possible. So that's the third one.
Let me say this before you go to the fourth one. I had a bout with cancer as well in our marriage. And what I found out with that and with COVID later on, that being in the kind of shape I was in, I was able to recover quicker because of being physically in the best shape possible. So I couldn't help that cancer came on the scene. It was a part of
Right.
in the DNA or whatever. But like you're saying, being the best I can be helps move forward.
Right.
Okay, now you can go ahead
And
with number
even
four.
even now, even in our eating, we can't eat a lot of the things that we ate when we were younger. So, but we got to keep that principle in mind and our bodies. And number 4 is we will walk in unity as it pertains to our finances.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue
Uh-huh.
in a lot of marriages. It's everybody is not pulling their weight. And sometimes some guys that with people that we've counseled, they are able to pay everything,
Yeah.
and she doesn't have to work. But if that is not our testimony, and we had to work, then we will still deal with each other and walk in unity as it relates to our finances.
The reason we're sharing these with you is because we believe that anytime we are counseling someone and we're getting ready for them to get married, we sit down with them and discuss clearly stated, and I hate using the word rules, but guidelines is what we call them, guidelines, touchstones that the two of you can agree on, the decisions, the kinds of attitudes you want to have in your home, so that as you're going forward, if you ever get out of whack, you can say, time out, let's look at this. Are we still doing what we say we're going to do? Are we still engaged the way we said? Are we doing with our A, B, C, and D like we said we're going to do? And I think as we look at this, they should be, first of all, stated in the positive.
Right.
Because we talked about when Jesus spoke of, quote unquote, what we call the golden rule, it was what we should do, not what not to do. So often people are trying to create guidelines, and they're saying, we will not. No, you should never put it in the negative. Put it in the positive. Here's what we will do. We will do. And that makes a marriage stronger. So stating those things clearly, but also putting them in the positive.
Exactly. And that's what we did, and we took it seriously, because what we did, and everybody doesn't have to do this, but we put a picture of ourselves in a frame,
Yeah.
and put the rules under it, and we have it hanging in our kitchen, and so that everybody can see it if they want. But it reminds us, okay, you said this, and this, and we are still living by those guidelines, and they are very effective.
And you know what, another thing you didn't mention? We signed it,
Yes.
which is so important that it was like a ceremony. And I think that's what we should do when we get our certificates and diplomas and from graduating from here or there, is we dress up a certain way and we are so excited about getting that. Well, these guidelines should be treated the same way. It's an important time that the two of you have decided this is what we want to do. As a matter of fact, one of the weddings we did a few years ago, they had theirs made up, but they didn't want to sign it until they said, I do, to each other. We sat down with them and put it all together, and in the ceremony was the signing of their guidelines to say, okay, not only are we making a vow to God about the marriage, but here's how we're going to make sure that we don't go outside the boundaries
Right.
of our marriage.
And all of this has to do with spiritual intimacy.
Bingo.
It all goes back to that, because not only did we make those vows to each other, we made them to God. And if I'm violating you in one of these ways, then I'm violating him as well.
Exactly.
And so we have to keep all of those things in mind as we go through our relationships.
Hey, guys, it's been fun sharing with you, and I hope it means something to you. Hard conversations are important in our lives. We become a nation of softness, and we need to be able to deal with the hard things in life. And this sometimes it's hard, but it's always turning out to be good. So, with that being said, marriage is not a destination, it's a journey of love.